Step inside the vibe, welcome to the flow. From the mind of Lil Joe, where the stories grow. Laid back wisdom, smooth as Sunday brunch. A live authority hits you with the punch. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talking about the world from the wild to the mild. Every topic on the table, thoughts free and wild. Chill like a summer breeze, groove so divine. From the cosmos to the corner, all intertwined. Retro funk with a lo-fi sway. Chill rap waves, let the podcast sing. Wisdom laced in humor, truths in disguise. Lil Joe dropping gems, open up your eyes. From late night laughs to early morning rants. Philosophies dance while the rhythm enchants. Relax, kick back, it's the vibe we sow. Straight from the mind of Lil Joe, let's go. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul.
What happens when your story is too small for the big networks? When your message matters, but you can't afford the spotlight. That's where Purpose-Inspired TV steps in. We're the bridge between the haves and have-nots, covering the events and voices others ignore. Available on Roku and Fire TV, we make professional streaming affordable for everyone. Your purpose deserves a platform. Join Purpose-Inspired TV.
All right. What's up, everybody? I pray everybody is well. Any light on that side? Well, that's my good side. All right. We got a great subject. I want to get a lot of interaction, but I didn't put the word out. I didn't send up the word out early enough to let people know what the subject is about. But I know some people are gonna be able to pop in and see the subject, see the post I put up there. Put a picture of a toilet with a toilet seat up. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. Up or down? What the toilet seat says about your relationships. Is it that deep? Does it go that deep? Is it that important? So today we're going to be talking about toilet seats. Yes, toilet seats. What if the toilet seat isn't just about the bathroom at all, but about love, about respect, and about who really runs the house? It's deep. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and now the more I think about it, the more insight I kind of get with myself, from things that I observed over my half a century here on this here earth. Sometimes relationships have ended over this. Others never even started. So when they saw, maybe a woman saw that this joker got an issue putting the toilet seat back down, she'd say, nah, this ain't for me. It's crazy, but sometimes it is that serious. Some relationships is not that serious, but we're going to get into it. Like I said, I do want the feedback from other people, but we are talking about toilet seats. And I got I think even 4 points of view Yeah, I tell you, I've been thinking about this thing for a long time. So from one point of view, I'm going to be talking about from the woman's point of view. Um, so sometimes that's got to do with how they feel and how they care, and I think how they think about maybe respect. Another point of view is the man's point of view: habit, uh, forgetfulness, rebellion. And then another point of view is equality, who is, um, different. The way the society is, we're talking about 50-50, and everybody's equal, and there's no difference between a man and a woman, and all that kind of thing. But if that's the case, why do we still have this issue about the toilet seat? All right, let's get into it. So we can, like I said, we can start off with the woman's point of view, and actually, I'm going to put it's a button I put for comments. I'm still learning this new system here. Bear with me. There we go. I really don't. It's not even that much room for me to see. All right. I'm gonna get into it. I got to stay focused. Stay focused. Um, the woman's point of view. So again, we're talking about the toilet seat. What do you mean the toilet seat? If anybody don't know what I'm talking about, the argument or the debate back and forth for, I guess, since the toilet was put in the household. And I know a lot of countries don't even have toilets, so they have no clue what I'm talking about. Other people have outhouses, just have a hole in the ground. Um, and some people are just grateful to have a toilet seat. So that kind of leads to the how in the world can we find a new thing to have a disagreement on and to argue about when this is in certain cases it's a luxury that many countries, many people don't even have. So we're arguing about something that people, like I said, they don't even have. Back in the day, they used the bathroom in a pot or slid the pot under the bed. So I wonder what that argument was about. And then they did some castles or different things. They put a hole in the side of the building or the side of the castle, and they just put the butt up there and did it out the side of the building. And then I guess as time went on, they went behind the house. Then they actually built a little shack, a little outhouse. And yes, I am so old. I'm not old, but I can remember, I don't remember where, but I remember somebody having an outhouse, somebody's house I went to back in the day out in the country. So yes, I have experienced a living, operating outhouse. And even when went to the Philippines, not only, just the bathroom, but they had the showers and everything was on outside. It was an outhouse. Uh, so they had it was like a cement wall or structure, and that was kind of, they was kind of. I stayed with a pastor actually. He was a pastor of a decent sized church, so I think they was doing all right with dealing with the Philippines. But I stayed at his house, and behind his house was I think it was a two like bathrooms and was not hooked up towards the sewer system that I recall. But I can remember like a toilet, two toilets, and one says I think it had boys. Man, it's been a long time ago since I went, but I think it said one said boys, one said girls. They did was separate bath toilets, and then the shower. It was a shower on the outside, and if I'm not mistaken, there too. I can't remember. I think it must. If it was ice, all cold water, I probably remember that. So I think we did have some heated water coming to the shower, but the shower was outside. It reminds me like a shower that you might use, that we might use here, like like if you go to the beach or something, and they just like might put cement, like a three-way cement, and then you just put a little plastic slide at the front end. That's where the shower was. So we have some good, uh, you know, we are blessed. The least I could say. Um, So that's I see a post that say we had a cousin that has an outhouse or had. Um, so we're gonna so the women's point of view. Let's see. I guess from a lot of the comments that I have heard over the years from the women, if you love me, put the seat down. If you love me, you remember to put the seat down. So what we're talking about is, it's really, I guess we can go from the point of view of men and women living together, or even husband and wife. So it could be boyfriend, girlfriend, either way, that type relationship. Or even it could be boys and but let's go from relationship standpoint. Um, yeah, they're starting to live together in different phases. They can be brand new. And like I said, some women might say this is a hard stop. Nope, it's not going to be part of the 80-20. Uh, the 80-20 in relationships. It should be 80-20. It should be 80% of things that you are willing to deal with and willing to move um, forward with, and then there's that 20% that you can like, okay, that's not a deal breaker. That's I can I need 80% for the relationship to move forward. Then there's this 20% where it's not going. I might not like it. I might not want to deal with it, but that 20% is not going to mess up the whole situation. So that's when I say 80-20, that's what I'm referring to. So some women might put that. Some women might put the leaving the toilet seat up over in the 20%. Now, I don't like it, but it's not gonna. He's still a good man. I want to still be with him. Some women might like, no, the toilet seat is so important that I'm not gonna move forward in a relationship because he don't put the toilet seat down. Okay. So a common complaint: women fall in when the seat is up. That is, I can't understand that. I can't understand it. Um, there may be some stories I've heard some women say they go in the bathroom at night and they don't look, and they just get prepared and sit down, and they sit down and the toilet seat is not up, and they fall in and the butt touch the water and all that stuff. It's just horrible. I just can't even imagine that happening. I don't get it. So that's just must be a man's thing. Um, so yes, we do not have to sit down all the time. So yes, that is part of it. But from my point of view, and I think a lot of men's point of view, we. But I don't know of a man. I tell you, I could be totally wrong, but I don't know of a man that has to sit down, gonna go and sit down without looking first. I just I don't know. So it must. It's one of I just have to say I don't understand it. I never experienced it, so I can't. It's hard for me to fathom of just going to the bathroom and sitting down without looking. So, and again, I apologize if I ever caused a woman to fall in the toilet by me leaving the toilet seat up. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was that dangerous. But I never. I've always looked first, even if I'm just standing up. I still look. So just going in there, backing up with your eyes closed, and then just flopping down. I can't imagine that. But okay, I'm gonna keep going. But yes, it could happen. I've heard people saying it. So men, that could happen. It could be dangerous to your woman, even if you never knew that. So that's one thing. It could be dangerous to your woman. And then emotional on the emotional part, um, some women may feel that their man, their boyfriend, their husband don't care about them by leaving the seat up. So I think that's the majority of it is you don't care about me enough to remember to put it back down, and you and some women can take it to the point of um, you know it's affecting the relationship because they don't put the toilet seat down. But I say on the other side where I don't hear anybody saying it, I believe for the man to put it up in the first place is showing that he cares about his woman. Why do I say that? Because he could just go in there and just use the bathroom without caring about where his urine will land. So since he cares about where his urine will land, he do not want his spouse to come in after him and sit on something and get her butt wet. He lifts the seat up in consideration. But I don't think a lot of women considers that the act of putting it up in the first place is an act of caring, because it's not benefiting him. I guess especially if it's not his house, it's not benefiting him in any way. He can come pee on, and I've seen, especially little boys and grown men, pee. Like we go to I go to a restaurant, especially these fast food restaurant. Them jokers don't put the seat up, and they pee is everywhere. Yeah, pee is everywhere, and I know these majority of these grown men. So again, so for men to take the time to put the seat up, and even when I go to these places, I put the seat up. I'm not touching. I use my foot. I use my foot, push the seat up, use the bathroom, because um, I still try to respect, even if whoever's coming later. I'm not gonna pee on it. And another a reason, like, coming from a man's point of view, uh, let's think of a like you're teaching, you potty training your little son. I've seen people say you potty train them, put a little Cheerio or something in the toilet, and have them, tell them to try to pee on the toilet. Not the toilet, I'm sorry. Try to pee on um, the or. What am I talking about? Cheerio. Okay. Let me slow it down. And try to teach your son how to be potty trained and to use the bathroom. Some people put a Cheerio, say put a Cheerio, something like that floats, and tell your little son to aim for that little Cheerio. So one, you're teaching him how to pee in the toilet without peeing all over the place, and the second one, you're making it fun for the child. So then when he feels the urge to have to go use the bathroom, say, hey, I get to go pee on the Cheerio. It's a fun game. So that's just a little thing. So a lot of men are taught to aim well, especially from men. You're not gonna get pee everywhere. So women can teach their sons, and then fathers and men teach their sons better aiming techniques. I even heard some people telling men that they need to sit down like women, because the splash, that you don't see the splashback, but it's still getting urine in different places. But that's with skill. You should learn how not to get pee everywhere. But I digress. I didn't plan on getting this deep into using the toilet. But yeah. So like I said, my point was, I think a lot of men, they have the consideration of women when they lift up the seat in the first place. And then we can get into habits. Some men say if he grew up with all men in the house, he may have never thought about it. But I still think even men, if it was, well, I've lived with, now I ain't think about that. I've lived with a bunch of men before. I've been in the military, so been in a lot of barracks with a lot of men on the ship with only men, and never, we've never had that discussion. I don't think uh, if a man has to go use the bathroom and pee is all over it, it would be dealt with. So a man is not even going to pee on the toilet if it's only men. So yeah, so it's ingrained. So whether women are around or men around, men will put the seat up for them. But I guess in the situation with only men in the barracks, only men in the dorm, only men in certain areas, if he puts the seat up to not pee on it, it's not a big deal if the seat is left up. So if a guy comes in there after one guy left and he needs to use the bathroom to sit down, it's not who. It's kind of like a who cares if the seat was up or seat down. I don't care. I mean, most men could care less. So that could be part of it. Some of men are taught to put the seat up, but it's still, especially with a lot of men, it's not a big deal to put it down. So some women have to emphasize, part of putting it up and put it down also in respect for women. So some men learn that, or some men have spent years and years and years of putting it up but not putting it down. But I still look at it as it's a good thing to be put up to, instead of having urine over the seat. Okay, I'm gonna keep on. Um, for men and women, it's not just a toilet seat. It's a sign of being considered. So I understand that, and I think I don't have a number. Some men understand it, some don't. But but yeah. So women look at that as, like I said, it's like a relationship thing. Um, and a lot of men like it's the bathroom. Um, and I think a lot of men don't understand how it could get so serious in some relationships. Um, uh, so women, and a lot of women may attach it to uh, like being a gentleman, or um, yeah, so like being a gentleman, like holding the door open, um, uh, pulling the seat out, or different things like that. So I guess they might consider, um, yeah, what is it? What is that word I'm trying to come up? Chivalry? Yeah, chivalry. So they may attach it, but at the same time, um, I've seen some, like I said, it's real serious. It's really serious, and they saying it's a big major problem in their marriage and their relationship because their husband does not put the seat back down, and I guess they looking at it as he don't care about me, he don't love me because he didn't put the seat down. Uh, no, I don't think it's. I mean, I think in a lot of relationships, I don't think it's that serious. Um, uh, Ladies, you ever yell at your man at 2 in the morning because you your thighs got wet from you falling in the toilet? Um, I got a comment. Chivalry isn't dead. Amen. Some people resist it and fight it, but chivalry isn't dead. Um, so, so I think that's the point of view. So any other women, you tell if there's another point of view or another thought on how you feel about men leaving the toilet seat up. But like I said, the reason why on this subject, I've been hearing about it a lot. Even I go to some marriage. We have some ongoing marriage class, and it comes up a lot. And some women is a very touchy subject, or sometimes, like I said, men have put the seat up and down on a regular basis, and then over time they stop. So as a man, I guess it doesn't matter from the women's point of, women could, you can free to feel how you feel, but a lot of men, I'm just do that. A lot of men in general didn't or don't realize how women feel about it, and some, like I said, some women have it more important than others. So now I'm gonna go to the man's point of view. I touched on it a little bit. Um, um, but okay, so I'm gonna go. My final point is about that was like for women is a lot of women feel that their men do not care when they leave the seat up. My take on it is I think a lot of time the men do care. I think that if they didn't care at all, they wouldn't probably put the seat up in the first place. So I think that's one sign of caring. But I think, and depends on your relationship. Sometimes relationship, you talk to your man, he may work on changing and start putting it putting it back down. We have to just have a common civil discussion about it. Uh, but okay, so I go on. So from the men's point of view, putting the seat up is actually a sign of respect. I think some men feel that way, that they are respecting their woman by putting the seat up. Um, um, so my little take on that. So okay, men. This is directed to men who leave the seat up. Men, if you put the seat up to use the bathroom, and then you reach over there to flush it, you just move over about 3 or 4 inches. There's the lid. You can put it back down. I mean, your hand was right there. Your hand is right there. If you flush. So now I think that's more of a sign of disrespect. This person, I think that's more of a sign of disrespect of not flushing the toilet than leaving the toilet seat up. Now not flushing or letting everybody see your trophies and stuff. No, that's what I like. That's disrespectful. I don't want to see what the last person did in the toilet. So that's what I look at disrespect. Flush the toilet. Don't leave the toilet unflushed. But like I said, man, if you're reaching over there to flush the toilet, just slide your hand on over there, put the seat down. Y'all might save y'all marriage. Y'all could just I don't know about saving your marriage. Some women they just can go to find something else to get on you about. But but you're right there. Um, so it's still, if we can understand and start thinking and listening to what the women are saying, I think we might, some people men who forget. But if it's like we're robotic, if we learn to automatically, we go in there, we automatically know to put the seat up. We've been doing that 10, 20 years. Um, we might have to train ourselves on how to remember to put it back down. But like I said, if you're that close, let's just add it in. Um, so it's still consideration now. And sometimes, yeah, we don't want to pee on the seat, but we forget. We think we don't want to pee on the seat for the next person, even our spouse, to sit on a wet seat. But then at the same time, we need to add in the part of the women would like for the seat to be put back down. So it's a habit. Men were always taught about this. Men that grew up in households where nobody mentioned it. So yeah, it is different. People, different ways of growing up. And like I said, it maybe if they grew up in a house with a woman, and some women didn't say nothing, it was like, okay, the seat is up, okay, put it down. It's that seat down, put it up. Nobody really said anything about it. And then different cultures, when people get, you got when a man and woman come together to get married, it's all of his history and all of her history, and they could be totally different histories coming together, and they shouldn't get angry with the other person for doing things differently. Um, it's strange. I know I get uh, some. I mean, I've been married for multiple years and was married before. I can remember one. I'm talking. I'm gonna pick on. Like I won't say pick on, but talk about my first marriage. I can remember one of the first meals that I was cooked for me, and I think she said she's gonna cook chicken, so she went and cooked chicken. And in my mind, when you say you can cook chicken, that means you can cook chicken, the meat. You can get a vegetable. You can get a starch. It can be mashed potatoes, rice, or something like that. So you can get maybe a starch. You can get a vegetable, and then you're going to get the meat. That's how we grew up. And maybe bread. So bread is kind of optional, but some places, you got to have the bread too. So in my mind, and the way I grew up, that's what you're going to get. At least going to get three things together. So when she finished cooking and it was time to eat, I went to the table. You know what I had? I had chicken. And I'm looking, I'm like, it's just two pieces of chicken. Where everything else at? She's like, what do you mean where everything else at? I'm like, this is not a meal, this is just chicken. And she was like, I used to cook for my brother and my sister, and that's what I used to cook for them. chicken, and they was happy with it. And I'm like, so I had to teach her like, uh, not that I'm special or anything, but if you're gonna cook, if I'm gonna cook, that's that's the standard, the bare minimum of three things I'm gonna try to provide, and that's kind of why I will be looking for that when somebody say they cooking for me. I'm not looking for just like one, two chicken legs and that's it. So that was coming from two different backgrounds. So that's what's like when cultures, marriages, people come together, they grew up differently, so they might need a little teaching, a little coaching on how to do things that would bring harmony in the home. So so back to men logic. If he's already reaching over to flush, like I just said, you just go up a couple of inches and pull the seat down. Logic. A lot of men like to think logically. So logically, if you're reaching over, logically, go ahead and pull the seat back down. You can have peace in your house just by using logic. So logic. If we thinking logically, just go ahead and think logically, and then you just continue to make a habit. And sorry, women. Well, I guess I need to say sorry to the men. Um, Women, you can really train your husband to do it. It's ways to get him to remember. I don't like to say like train like not like an animal, but think of it as a reward system. Yeah, there's still inside every woman is a little girl. Inside of every man is a little boy, and you can use your womanly. Is it womanly? That's not a word. Use your women's skill, and you can actually train him to do it. I don't know no tricks. I know my wife probably already used some training techniques on me that I don't know about. So women, y'all could use some training techniques to get him to remember to do that. But don't let him think that you treat him like a dog or anything like that. But you could gradually, I don't know, or some kind of reward system when he does it. So everybody likes rewards. Everybody likes treats. So, oh, you remember to put the seat down. Here you go. You get a star. I don't know. Y'all could be creative, but that will, if somebody continues to forget, you could have some kind of way to a reward system. And everybody, we love rewards. We love treats. Um, um, so it's not like something that we should fight over, though. It's just, and it's not, man, you don't have to, it's not all that what you got to go through. I mean, the reward of having a harmonious, peaceful household is worth the not even a second of putting the seat back down. But then now I'm gonna go back to the women. Is it worth fighting over and causing strife and anger in your relationship over a toilet seat? So it's kind of like look at it two ways. Um, so I'm going to take a sharp turn. I'm going to turn real left, something I've never heard anybody say. So here's another question. Why is the woman always the victim in this particular situation? And when I say victim, what you mean victim? It goes back to this 50-50. This 50-50 thing. People, a lot of women like, yeah, I want to be 50-50. I want to be equal, and all this and that. So if that's the case, why is the woman the one that can complain about the toilet seat being left up? Can't the man at the same time say, why is the seat all the way down when I go in the bathroom? When I go in the bathroom at night, I'm tired of having to reach and try to and put the seat up. What if it's like if we're trying to, like some people, a lot of people are trying to say, let's make everything equal. But wouldn't that be equal if the last person that was in there leave the toilet seat in the situation for the next person to come in? Like I told you, it was a left turn. I think a lot of people don't think about that. It's like it's always the woman is the one, she's the victim. The toilet seat was left up, so I'm the victim. And well, some men is like, okay, You said you want to be equal. You want to be um, on the same level. So I need you to leave the seat up when you leave, and then I'll leave the seat down when you leave. That don't sound practical, but that'll be equal. So nobody's a victim. Both of them getting what they want, but mostly it's like the woman is the victim by the seat being left up. Um, so what what y'all think about that? Should it be equal? Should women still have a special privilege of the man demanding that the man put the seat back up, and the man just be like, okay, and or should it be equal? The man asks the woman to leave the seat up, and the woman asks the man to leave the seat down. Is that fair? Is that the direction that our society is looking for? And getting rid of the quote what we call chivalry of a man trying to give a woman extra respect. Um, but then that some women don't want that, don't like that. They consider, some people consider a cuss word submission. But that's on a whole nother level. So what do y'all think about just being equal? Of one leaving it up, I mean the woman leaving it up and the man leaving it down. I wonder if we get into a big room of men and women, see how that discussion would go. Um, um, so, all right. So that's what I wanted to, about that part of. So should we be equal? Um, I think some women's like they want equality in certain areas, and then they want the special women privileges in other areas. It's like they can pick and choose where they want to be a woman, but then in other areas, like nah, I'm a woman in this area. You need to treat me like a woman, and then I'm equal in this other area, so you need to treat me equal. It's it's kind of hard, and then it gets kind of confusion. Um, but in uh, a real equality relationship means both sides adapt, not adopt. Um, there's not one side, and there shouldn't be a victim. Um, I saw what some I think one lady in the class. I forgot what Sharice said. I didn't make it that class, but I think one woman. I think she goes out of the way in the opposite way to look out for her husband. She does. It's certain things. I forgot. On Sharice, you can tell me what one lady said she does for her husband. I don't know if she said she puts the seat back up for her husband. It, I forgot, but yeah, it's someone. And I think they was looking at her like strange. Why are you doing that for your husband? Why are you why are you putting the seat up for your husband? The men's supposed to be the ones that's putting the seat down. So she was looked at cockeyed it, but but yeah, I think I forgot exactly, but that's one of the situations. So sometimes forgetting the seat isn't about uh, gender or respect. It's a sign of something that's deeper, something maybe deeper going on. So I told you, I've been thinking about this thing. I've been really thinking about it. Like, why? Why do some men forget, or why do some men do it? Not only putting the toilet seat down, it's other things that men would do in a relationship, and they start backing away and not doing it. So yeah, I was thinking and thinking and thinking like, wait a minute, I think it's deeper than this toilet seat thing. And I think, you can probably dig into different relationships, take a look at a relationship, and it's not all about the toilet seat. It's something else. So I dug into that a little bit. Just dug into it. When a little thing starts to fade, something bigger is missing. When little things start to fade, something bigger is missing. That's what I came up with. Um, Reasons men forget or stop doing the small things, sometimes it's emotional distance or emotional burnout. It's like, I bet you're saying, what in the world does a toilet seat being left up got to do with this? I'm gonna get into it. Um, okay, she said the wife, this other one wife, actually puts the seat up for her husband, kind of like the example I was kind of being funny, but yeah. So she puts the seat up for her husband. I believe, I hope he puts it down for her. Um, so some of the reasons why men forget. Um, so emotional distance or burnout. So I'm talking about in relate. I'm just stick with marriage. Let's say some men are in marriages, but in their marriage, there's becoming this emotional distance or emotional disconnect or emotional burnout. So I don't know, whatever's going on in that relationship, it could be some distance. So when they're when they were close together and everything is going on happy and all that, he remembers that he remembered to put the seat down. He's all happy. He's happy with with his wife, happy in a relationship, and he happily put the seat down. But then when the relationship start to fade or drift away, um, I don't. I don't know if it's a word like it's like a sharpness. Like it's like on point. Like I really want to do all this for my woman. I really want to make sure I make her happy. I make sure I want to do all these different things. And when everything is going good, a nice relationship, I think that's how I believe both people might be. But then if they starting to get a disconnect, uh, that sharpness of trying to do everything starts to fade away, and then the putting the toilet seat down could be one of those things. I have never heard anybody say anything like this before. But this is something that I've kind of like observed, like I said, over my half a century. I think it's like some men, it's like, okay, it's starting to, we were happy and not more than happy, but everything is going good, but stuff is like fading away, and so a lot of this stuff started fading away. Like I say, a man used to cut the grass all the time, and now he's dragging his feet, don't want to get out there and cut the grass. It's I can't think of different examples. Like I said, he like the certain things that he did before, or the wife didn't have to say anything to him about doing. They start to fade away. So, and here's another area: it could be feeling controlled or disrespected. So if a man is with a woman that's really controlling him, he got a controlling woman or a disrespectful woman, there again, so a lot of these things that he was sharp doing and happy to do, um, it's a form of might be a form of rebellion. So she's controlling me. I'm saying controlling him. He feels like he's controlling some flat out. Yes, some women know they control. They're controlling to their husband. They control everything about him, controlling everything that he does, and so she's controlling him. And then some form of rebellion. Like I said, I came up with this. Nobody, I haven't heard anybody teach this. I think some form of rebellion is, it might be conscious or subconscious. His form of rebellion is leaving the toilet seat up. Well, he might do stuff to get on her nerves because she like bossing him around and doing all these different things that he's continuing to do to try to keep peace. And that goes back to that lesson I just did the other day. But he's trying to keep peace, to keep from arguing, but then he might do some subtle things like leave the toilet seat up, other things that might get on her nerves. That's his form of rebellion of being disrespected or being controlled. So to solve those situations, it needs to be discussed. But a lot of people, they fight back quietly or subtly. They might feel like the husband might feel like her mouth or her tongue is so sharp and she can out talk him, out fuss him, out cuss him, and he don't want to end up in no physical altercation, because that's what a lot of times what happens is a lot of women, they out talk their men, they belittle them so much, that sometimes only way the man could defend himself is physically. So he can't out talk her. Some women could. I'm back to my first marriage. I lived it. that you can get cut up and chewed up and sliced up and diced up so much, and then men like, okay, the only we having a talking a discussion or argument, and you getting tore up. The man is getting beat down. It just, like I said, talked about and called every name under the sun, and you ain't no good. You're sorry. Don't nobody want all this on left and right, up, just beat upside your head, and he can't compete with his tongue. So a lot of men turn to their fists. So I can't beat her with my mouth. So all right, they turn to their fist. So a lot of men don't. Thankfully, a lot of good men, they resist the urge of violence. But so they might turn to, let me do some subtle stuff, some simple, stuff to get on her nerves. Since I can't beat her, I'm not gonna leave her, and I can't beat her with the tongue, and she's controlling. So let me do some subtle things. Told you it was deep. It's deep. And I think it's some relationships. I think more than we know, some relationships like that with men. I know women too. Now, I'm not saying men is the victim, but just as we talk about toilet seats. Man, I know it probably hardly no men. I know it is on Earth, but it's probably so small is you probably can't see it. But overall, in general, in general, I don't think it's going to be hard to find a man to complain about if his woman leave the toilet seat up or down. It's, especially an average man, it's going to be hard to find that. But so there's many women that can complain about it. So again, like maybe he's doing something to be rebellious. Well, I say rebellious to just try to show that I'm still a man. She tell me what to do. She tell me what to wear. She tell me where to go. She decorated every single room in the house. She tell me when to cut the grass. She tell me when to do everything. So he like feeling small. And many, I don't, many, some men, they done been living like that for 50, 60, 70 years. But they feel like to have peace, just go along with whatever she say. Just go along with whatever she say. But deep down, he is not agreeing with it. So he might do some stuff, do some subtle stuff to get back. And leaving the toilet seat might be his little bitty, teeny tiny thing of rebellion. Um, so, so like I said, she controls the finances, controls the planning, controls the households, control what goes on in the household. He he's like, dog, got nothing left. So then, like I said, end up being rebellion. Um, so that's like just a quiet statement. Oh, I'm still a man. That's it. It could be that simple. I think if we could get some couples, especially people that's been married for many years, and maybe some situations where the man used to do it all the time, he put the seat down all the time, and now he don't do it or he refused to do it. You can probably dig into that relationship and see what's going on, why, why, and I think you can uncover some stuff. Um, so um, when a man feels the love, feel the respect, feels the desired, he naturally wants to please her. I'm gonna say that a little bit again. When a man feels the love, it's some words. Words really don't mean it. So words of words, but it's just the feeling of that love or respect and desired. Um, that's what he would really wants to do. It's just natural. He would like to go above and beyond. When he feels rejected or controlled, he shuts down. He starts shutting down emotionally, starts shutting down physically. And that could lead to not putting the toilet seat down. See how I wrap that all the way back around to this? It don't seem like it should, but I think in some households, maybe a lot of households more than we think of, a lot of that could be an emotional thing, and it might not be the toilet seat, but a lot of times that's like the one that's the most obvious. Most men don't stop caring overnight. They stop when they stop feeling that when they stop feeling cared for. So it's not an overnight thing. So when you do hear people like he used to do this and he used to do that, and he used to put the toilet seat down and never had to say anything, and now he does. Um, that relationship probably need to be looked at and talked about. Um, the seat up isn't rebellion. It may be a silent protest. As I say, it might not be rebellion, but it might be a silent protest. That man might be trying to protest in such a way, trying to get her attention, um, but they don't know how, or he don't know how to have this discussion. I know this is the deepest anybody ever talked about a toilet seat being put up, but it may be something deeper that the relationship they need to talk about. So maybe, just maybe, the toilet seat is a minor reflection of the state of the relationship. Say what? That could, yeah. It's just they might be. It's just a toilet seat. The man might say it's just a toilet seat. The woman say it might just be the toilet seat, but it could be a sign. I'm not saying every marriage is in trouble because somebody leave the toilet seat out. I'm not saying that, but it could be a sign of that he might be trying to say something. Or at the same time, I'll go back to the women. Women, I'm talking to the women who don't say anything. To the women that might be getting angry at her husband for leaving the toilet seat, but and not saying anything. That's gonna really gonna cause some problems. When, like I said, I had this live I did. I think I did it on Monday, talking about hedging. So she trying to keep peace and holding it in, but she getting angry and angry and angry, and then she can end up lashing out and causing a whole lot of ruckus. And he can like, what's this all about? And then she about the toilet seat, huh? So we having this big knockdown draw out and talking about divorce and all this stuff over the toilet seat, but it could be because she's holding that in and holding some other stuff in, and instead of talking about it and releasing it, it just blows up all out of proportion. So, what's our takeaways? What do we learn from this? It may not be all about the toilet seat. It might be a talk. It could be talking about the situation of the toilet seat. Could be talking about not relationships. Respect. Are we respecting each other? So I think overall, especially in America, most decent men in America, I don't think it's a problem for them to put the toilet seat down. But at the same time, it is something to look at when I guess some women could say that's you must. It's a demand. All men must put the toilet seat down for their women. So when it gets to that point, it's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? It should be something that he freely wants to do, not a demanding. Again, especially if people say let's be equal and all this kind of stuff. Equal, both people should look out for the other. It shouldn't be one person only looking at I need my spouse to do all these things for me. I want him to do this. 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 Doing all these different things, and then he gets what in return? He gets what in return? Um, so that's I want to talk. Well, I'll talk about that another time. I did a show about it one time. The three P's. There's three P's that a man wants in a relationship. He wants before um, he will consider getting married. So like, as long as I get these three P's from my spouse, I consider getting married. Get married, and then the woman has her set of three P's that she would like to have before she get married. So I guess I need to do another show on the three P's. I did it before, but I know, yeah, I'm gonna do that again. But so I would like to encourage relationships instead of being mad. about the toilet seat thing. Talk about it. Work on it as a teamwork, not as a battle. But I think I'm going to another turn. Some people like being the victim. What? In certain situations, like I said, let's say a woman. I've been complaining about my husband not putting the toilet seat down for 45 years. So then if I say we, if you try to give them a salute, either let it go or here's a solution, and they don't want the solution because they have been such a victim of that for 45 years, they're not going to know how to act if they no longer the victim of this situation. So some people like being the victim in these situations. So you can't help them. And I'm not even talking about the toilet seat. It's a lot of areas in life. People come to you with their problems, and you tell them this is what you need to do to get out of the situation, to solve the problem, and this and that. And they don't. Wait a minute. What? They don't want the problem solved. They enjoy being known for the person that complains about this particular thing or this particular situation, and they will not be themselves if that problem is solved. It's sad but true. It's some people, they have problems, they don't want the problem solved, and it's sometimes just the average people. Don't waste your time on those type people. When you realize that, if you don't told a person 5, 10 times how to solve a situation, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, they won't do it, and they keep coming back to you talking about the same thing, leave them alone. That's another let them have it. Because some people enjoy their problems. Some people enjoy their burdens, and they won't know how to act without their burden. They just like to complain to you. They could like to complain. They like to waste your life, continue to bring you the same thing. So okay, here's some challenges for I guess the relationships that's going through this. For 1 week, try to outlove your partner in the little things. The seat down, toothpaste, kind words. The toothpaste, yeah, that used to be. Oh no, I don't even know if my wife now know about it. Yeah, the toothpaste is one of my pet peeves. I hate for somebody to squeeze the toothpaste, and it's all. It's not even. It don't even have to be dirty. It's just all just squeezed, none. I need to start at the top and squeeze the way down. Start at the top, squeeze. So just squeezing from the center, that might be an OCD thing. So, how do you solve that? She got her own toothpaste. I got my own toothpaste. And I keep mine the way I want. I could care less what she does with her. Not that I don't love her. Not that, just do what you want to do with yours. I'm not going to argue about it. I like mine this certain way. That's keep peace. You can't, probably some people don't have two toilet seats, but it could be certain things like that. If you might have a argument or a disagreement on something, maybe you just get another one. You have yours, and they have theirs. Might solve. I don't know. Every situation is different. Yeah, let's try to out nice your spouse this week instead of remembering that's what gets on my nerves and doing this thing. Try to out nice the person, even if you want the man to put the toilet seat down. You can do something subtle, or if they always knowing that you're gonna fuss about the toilet seat being up, you could this might, I don't know, this might be kind of rude, but I'm just top of my head. If you go in the bathroom, don't say nothing. You just put the seat down, and he can hear you put the seat down. He can hear that, and then I bet you next time, if you do that 2 or 3 different times, he keep hearing it getting put down. He gonna get the message. A lot of times, the fussing and the yelling and the screaming and stuff, it don't get through. But being nice, that's what really, gets gets to gets to the heart. All right. At the end of the day, love isn't about putting the toilet seat up or down. It's about who lifts the other person up. Ooh, ooh. Let's remember to lift each other up. It's not the toilet seat. It's about each other. All right. Ask y'all to like and share and add comments. And remember to let me know about other subjects. I know y'all probably never heard this much somebody talking about some toilet seats this much before. All right, like I said, join us, Purpose Inspired TV. Thank for those who joined the celebration of Purpose Inspired TV last weekend. We continue to grow. If you got any contents, you got any ideas for shows, let us know. All right, until next time, go in peace. God bless. Lil Joe out.